Welcome. Hi, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I hope your day is as bright as mine. Um, yes, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'll be on for about 5 minutes, just finishing some lunch. But I'll be.
Hey, listen, eat,
Thank you.
trust me, back-to-back meetings.
I know.
My trainer was like, Chris Bet, you are starving yourself if you are not having your lunch. So I'm trying to bring something, a
I
banana.
know. We can go 24 without eating, but it's not good for our body. We're just storing it as fat, so we want to not
Exactly.
store it as
That's
fat.
what
So
she
yes,
told me, you know,
yes.
and I
My
was
trainer
like,
told me the same thing, so I have to eat something. So excuse me for a
yes.
moment.
Yes. For those of you that may be doing those intermittent fasting and stuff, there are benefits, but there's also some drawbacks, you know, and I'm learning. Although I sometimes fast and fasting for a season, a period, it's all good, but I think overall health and well-being, there's benefits to putting food in your mouth. Food is fuel. And for us as entrepreneurs, definitely we need to be nourishing our brains, our bodies, because you know, when we're overworked and underfed, you get hangry. And that is not a good place to be. But yes, I appreciate everyone for joining us today. I'm super excited because today we're doing a little bit something different, talking about sales, but really we're going to be spending about 30 minutes of our time together, a shorter session, but really a chance to understand what you all are doing in a couple of the sales categories, and just really a Q&A opportunity to share with your peers. I always say, if you have definitely joined us before, please put in your contact information. We love to follow, love to connect in that way, and we will dive in. Awesome. So today we are talking about sales. Uh, I see, with the exception of Ryan, uh, lots of ladies in this room. And ladies, I'm curious how comfortable you are with having sales conversations.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay, yeah. Hey, I love that, Anne. 10 out of 10, yes.
I'm good as well.
I don't think
Awesome.
I'm uncomfortable with it, but it depends on, what I'm kind of pitching. If I'm really confident about it and passionate about it, you can hear it.
Yes. Yes. Hey, and Amanda, thanks for sharing as well. And I love that, right? Like, I think I've been in rooms with a lot of women who oftentimes struggle with the ask, oh my goodness, I now have to ask them for it. But it comes with time. So if you are a seasoned entrepreneur by now, we would hope that you've built enough confidence in terms of having those type of conversations with potential clients, with current clients, because remember, the next best customer that we have is a current one. So the opportunity to say, hey, we're at this point in our journey in terms of the offering a deliverable in that way, and then being able to upsell or cross sell to something else, right? It is a powerful thing. So my invitation to all of us, if you are not, those that are watching today, those that are here, if you're not confident with sales, it may be one of the best areas that you invest some time and resources to be better at. If someone said, hey, can you help me with a legal thing, the chances are that you don't have to even think about it. You don't have to, like, that's part of your DNA, right? The service or products we oftentimes do for clients, it comes naturally to us. However, the business around that service or product is where we need to spend a lot of our time, right? And so having those sales conversation is very important. Amanda, I see your hand is raised.
Hi, just really quickly. I've been in business for myself for about 6 years, And I used to be terrified to charge for my cheesecake. And now for a large, like a 12-inch, I charge $144 and I don't blink an eye and it still sells.
Hey,
And I went to a client's house the other day and I was going back in my invoices and I realized this woman has spent over $10,000 just ordering food from me. And she looked at my menu today or a couple of days ago and she's like, "Oh, have you updated have you updated your prices?" And I looked at her like, "You know what? All right, I'm going in the new year. I'm going to do it because I'm not afraid." When she told me a couple of years back, "Listen, you're catering to corporates, you're catering to this and that, you need to up your prices, you make good food." I listened to her, and you kind of weed out the people who can't afford your stuff, and then you have people that just like they don't blink an eye, and they buy your product. So I'm not even afraid anymore.
hey, Amanda, thank you for sharing that story. And that's the story that I oftentimes hear, right? And so it is true. Sometimes it could be scary, even increasing the pricing, all of those things, but you're on the right track in that way. Thanks. And it's great to have your customers indicate like, hey, inflation's happening or things are happening. What are you doing? You're charging 5 years ago pricing. That stuff needs to change, right? So the invitation to all of us is, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on pricing today, but it matters. It's part of the entire piece. Okay. So thanks so much for sharing that. So what we're going to do for the next little bit is answering some questions about your own sales methodology and practices. And so I'm curious who would like to share their offer, because when we talk about selling something, we have to be able to present to customers an offer. Who has an offer that they feel confident in and being able to share? Alexia, I see your hand is raised.
Yes, thank you. I'm just eating right now. I'm just finishing my bite, but yeah, my offering. So I'm Alexia. I'm a speaker, founder, financial literacy educator, and founder of 123 Finance. I'm a financial literacy expert. I'm a B2B business. So I work with nonprofit organizations, social clubs, universities, and businesses. And what I'm selling is financial literacy experiences. So whether it could be a game night, a team building, a lunch and learn, a financial talk, or speaking engagement, usually those people, part of the organization, they pay me so that people like you, or whether entrepreneurs, Black people, students, immigrants, Francophone, you access financial education for free. And my value proposition is that for the B2B client, I have a customizable offering, meaning, for example, if you need me for students, I'm going to speak about, budgeting strategy, but for students, for example, if you're helping international students, it's different because some people, they have OSAP, other people, they don't have OSAP. If you're inviting me to talk to, I don't know, newcomers looking for a job or entrepreneurs, I'm going to talk about budgeting strategy, but in a different way. I'm not necessarily going to talk about salary if you're an entrepreneur and all that. So it's customizable. And the value proposition for the final client, the attendees, is that I'm a Black woman, Francophone, immigrants, and I have this open-mindedness, even culturally, to adjust the financial literacy to those different kinds of population. And I make it fun and interactive.
Hey, thank you. And Alexia, if you stay one moment, I'll continue to ask you some questions. So that was very thorough, and I think you shared overall your business, what the value proposition is to the folks. And I think over the past couple days that we've been spending together, we know that our value proposition should be customizable. So you're definitely embodying that based on who you're sitting in front of. You're saying we have a customizable package for you. I was curious, so just out of curiosity, what are some of the objections so that you're hearing from, when people say no to you or no, not right now?
Mm-hmm. So most of the time, I don't hear about them. I send email or call outreach, and I don't hear about them. So it's hard for me to understand why. Some of the people, they're not saying no, but they're asking for the pricing. After I present my offering and all that, and then like, oh yeah, sure. And then they ask about the price. And when I talk about the price, usually they're like, oh, we have a budget. Or sometimes even before giving my pricing, I'm gonna ask them for a budget. Sometimes they will give me the budget, sometimes they don't. And sometimes it's after me telling the price, they're like, oh, we only have that amount of budget. So for the past year, because I'm going to celebrate my 1 year anniversary tomorrow, for the first year, what I did is that for some people, I accepted the lower price, whether it's 50% of my pricing or 60%. And still on my accounting software, I will put the full price and then the discounted price, because I want them to understand. I don't want them to go around people and say, hey, I got Alexia for $150 the hour when my price is $500 the hour, right? So this is what I did. And, it was the first time, because the first year I needed content for my LinkedIn, for my social media. I needed content to post, to be out there. And I needed people to know me. So that was my first year. Now I'm more going towards sponsoring portion of the price for some organizations, but really saying no to people that don't have my price. I need to focus my efforts on finding the clients who wants to pay my pricing.
Yes.
But also the issue with that is the people I really want to work with, sometimes they don't have the money for me, but I want to work. For example, you're an organization helping Black entrepreneurs. I want to work with you, but you don't have my pricing. So if I tell you no, I don't want my pricing to be an obstacle of financial education for Black people. But at some point, it's a business. I'm not a nonprofit. So that's the issue I have, is sometimes I don't want to say no to those organizations, because I'm like, oh my God, I really wanted to work with you. Now you want to work with me, but you don't have the price. So it's hard to be like, where to stand.
Hey, and thanks for sharing. And I will check to see if anybody else has received objections and how you've handled that. So a couple of things that you mentioned. So in terms of, if you're saying, hey, I want to work with nonprofit organizations that don't have the budget, oftentimes nonprofit organizations are applying to different grants and opportunities in that way. So you may be able to position yourself as a strategic partner. Hey, write the grant. I'm going to be the service deliverer. When you get that, we will connect and work together, right? So there's different opportunities. If you're saying, hey, maybe you want to propose reaching out to one of the banks. This is the financial literacy sessions that we want to run for your organization. Maybe you can get a sponsorship to cover some of the costs, right? So there are some opportunities in that way that you could work with those that cannot afford, if they fall into that nonprofit space, to be able to, for future state. But you did hit it on the head. We are in business to stay in business. So it is not a nonprofit organization that you're running. So now it's really to say, where are my ideal customers? And if we go back to defining the ideal customers, people who are willing, ready, and able to pay. Right. And so part of the shift is not, yes, as you're starting out, sometimes you anybody who wants my service, and you're using that as fuel and learning along the journey. But at some point, when you do that cost analysis, you want to be able to say, hey, I know I'm delivering value, and the price is not even fully justifying that value, right? Like in terms of like you're getting more than what you're paying for in many ways, right? Because the thing that you're not selling is the here and now, it's the outcome, the transformation. And this goes to all of us, right? Sometimes people are like, but why should I pay for that now? It's not for now, it's what's to come. To your point around the marketing or if you're reaching out and you're hearing the cold call, my question, or no response, sorry, is what you said. My question was, how often are you reaching out to those people that you would have sent an email or a DM to or something like that?
Definitely not enough, because so far I'm doing everything manually. And it's been a year now, so I'm in the midst of implementing, all-in-one platform with the CRM, email marketing, and those automating leads. Let's say someone is interested in your website, they will fill a form, and then if they don't book it, then they will receive an email and all that. So so far I was doing everything manually. So sometimes I'm like, hey, let's do some. Let's say if they're motivated, I reach out to 10 people and then I don't do it for 2 weeks and nothing happens. So
Yeah.
now what I'm trying to do is put a placeholder in my calendar where every Monday or every Tuesday, I take an hour to do cold leads either on by emails or on LinkedIn. And the goal is to make like a list of all of the nonprofit that I know there's a list somewhere, all of the nonprofits that got a grant this year. So I know they actually got a grant, but I feel like I need a system because right now, I just, I would love to work with U of T. Let's do it. But I feel like I need a system with an Excel with all of the names and all that. And once I'm going to have my new bilingual website set up through my all-in-one platform, I'll have all of those leads within the software. And, even if you didn't respond me, you will still receive automatic, hey, we have a specific order offer, you can have 20% off. Or, hey, if you book us for financial literacy month, you can have this or whatever, something, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to build the system because right now I didn't have a CRM. So I told my sister to go into my email address and do an Excel file and write all of the name of my clients because the past year I didn't have a CRM. And I attended a workshop. They were like, girl, you need an email list. So I told my sister to do it, but now I'm ready to implement all that in my CRM. I think it's going to be ready by beginning of November, which is financial literacy month, which is amazing.
Hey, that's awesome. Yes. And definitely, thank you so much for sharing and being in the hot seat, just sharing kind of like your day to day. I love the fact that you are setting aside time to engage with cold leads, right? And that list building is so important because on sometimes our averages. So I don't know how, and maybe this could be an exercise going forward if you can do it retroactively. Hey, how many people am I sending those DMs to? How many people am doing that? What is that open rate, or what is that person booking into my calendar to get to know me, right? And being able to track that gives you a ratio. Maybe you could go back and tweak your direct messaging, right? And so what you shared about the frequency. Sometimes people send, and I've been guilty, you send, hi, this is my business, check me out, crickets. And then you're like, oh, they said no. Like, oh, it's okay. Let's move to the next person. No, no, no. One of my business coaches, and I think Ryan sent me an article as well. One is not enough. And oftentimes we just do one touch point and buy. But I think I shared yesterday, Danielle Priestley said it's 7 hours of content, right, consumed over 11 key touch points across 4 platforms. Even if you commit to one platform, just know that you need that one platform needing to be able to show up in different places, right? So if we think about it from that standpoint, from an outreach perspective, one of my first business coach used to say, Chrisbeth, 10 people before 10 o'clock. Right? You have to, and that was a time when we're cold calling. And so if you think about it, our recommendation is at least 5 key touch points, right? So you're going to find that person, perhaps in your case, you're building a list on LinkedIn. You're looking at sending them a DM. I always recommend try to find a company email or something. So you get them on LinkedIn, but you're also sending them an email. Not only that, finding one person, if you can find maybe 2 people within the organization that you're doing this similar strategy with, because the people within the organization are going to talk. This person, Alexia, messaged me. She messaged me too. What is she saying, right? So it's going to facilitate a conversation. The other thing is, those direct messages work really well, but we want to go a step further. Let's engage with their content. So can we go through their LinkedIn? Maybe they've been active, they've been posting. We consider active, they've posted within the last 30 days, meaning that somebody is doing something on their LinkedIn in that way. So you want to be able to like, comment, and share something of value that you're seeing. So you're not just that average person who's filling their inboxes and you're like, I don't even have a relationship with this person, right? So we want to facilitate through the different social medias, and not just one platform plus email. Can we do it across multiple? Because guess what? People are inundated with a lot of messaging. You could say, and I think it was you that somebody said they friended me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I did.
Yes. So listen, you're going to get a response if you haven't gotten one already. I'm bad on LinkedIn for my direct messages. But I will say that it works. It works, right? But it is about consistency in that way. So, Alexia, you're doing the right things. It's now about the right tools, and you talked about it. I recommend everybody, if you're starting out, free is okay. Get a spreadsheet and use that to track. That's okay. That only works for a certain amount of time period, right? We then want to be able to move away from free because it is limiting to be able to create those structures and automated workflows. What we love here at Empowered Facts is building out those workflows, is building out those funnels, right? To help you manage the customer conversation. Because remember, not everybody you made an offer to will buy right away. But guess what? Whenever financial literacy comes up, you're top of mind because you showed up in their email, you showed up on their LinkedIn, you showed up on something in recent times, which is very important. So, Alexia, thank you for sharing. Anybody else handling opposition? I'm curious if anyone else has feedback in terms of how they handle opposition as it relates to their sales.
I do.
Hey, thank you, Anne.
So I've been working for a while. I was reasonably priced because the people were not affording. I try to be reasonable. So now, even when I give a discount, I find Afrocentric markets, they tend to want to lowball you even more, even after you give them a discount. Which for me now, I'm like, okay, this is the discount that I could give you that is not going to be lower than my bottom line. I'm giving you the bottom line, and that means if I go lower, it's not good for me, right? Because before I was doing reasonable for everybody. And now that you understand that, and I'm giving you a good deal, and you're still wanting a more better price, I'm like, no. So now I'm just like, okay, this is the price. This is what I can do. If you want it, cool. If not, just save your money and come back to me later because that's my lowest price that I could give you without being like giving it away for nothing, so to speak. Because when
Yeah.
you're talking about legal information, contracts, documents, letters, it's very time consuming. First, you have to do the research. Then you have to put the information together. And then I have another person working with me now. So people got to get paid. Nobody can work for free, right? So they have to consider the whole pie. And sometimes they're
Yeah.
not looking at the whole pie because when I'm at the table, my philosophy is everybody needs to eat, not just one person. Everybody that is participating in that um, venture, they have to get something. They can't just do it for free because everybody has bills to pay. So once
Yes.
I'm watching out, yeah, for everybody's bottom line, my bottom line, and I sleep very well because I know after all these years, right? Even if they get upset, I mean, that's on them, right? Um, I mean, at one point I told somebody, yeah, I'll give you one free blast because I'm all over social media. But after that, you can save and come back. But at the end of the day, I think I'm priced really good and reasonable, and I price geared to income, and I price in. It depends on what the job is that I'm doing, right? Is how I do my pricing now. But yeah, I don't budge when I
Hey.
have my bottom line. Yeah, I just stay there, and they can come back later and save some money.
Yeah, and I mean, thanks so much, Anne, for sharing. One of the things that, is true is that sometimes in not only our own communities and in other communities as well, going for the lowballing is something that is done, right? They want the bottom of the barrel price for the luxury service, and that does not equate, right? So is it that you
Yeah.
care about quality? Is it you care about speed? Like, what
Yeah.
is it that you're looking for, right? And I think this is where I mean, the conversation, and I'm sure you're having it, could be tied back to value-based questions. When someone is bucking at you at price and all of these things, it's what do you value, right? Is it the ability? And I love what you said. It definitely resonates with our philosophy here. Triple win for me. Everybody must win. So we must win, you must win, and ultimately the people you serve and impact beyond our reach
Yeah.
must win as well, right? So we
Yeah.
talk about the triple win philosophy here. And to your point, and I've heard it, many people are moving away and finding that there are other communities that could be buying from us, right? And so, yes, we want to help our communities. However, that congruency, right, is not in place. It's not there, right? We are bringing value to the marketplace. We have valuable services, and yet
Exactly.
sometimes our own people, other communities don't see that value. So I like what Amanda shared. Go to the people that can pay. Go to the people that have the demand. Because guess what?
Exactly.
The demand, if we see it within our own network, so Alexia, for yourself, yes, we want to enforce Black financial education and all of these things, but sometimes people don't value that, right? And so now, where do I go to the people who value my service? And so this comes back to that entire customer profile. You may see, hey, we started with one profile, but in order for us to hit the targets that we're looking at, we need to be pricing our way much higher. Right. So that is the message that tied to what you're sharing there, and for sure. So my next question, and thank you for both of you for participating on that one, in terms of sales tools and system, and I think we already talked a little bit about this. I'm curious from folks, and feel free to unmute, what tools and systems are you using to help with your sales? So Alexia, you mentioned that, and when we talk about sales and marketing could be interchangeable, because we know that sometimes that nurturing needs to happen in that way. Alexia, I was curious if you wanted to share the name of your CRM tool that you're going to be using.
So I was debating between HubSpot and Kajabi. I chose Kajabi just because I'm also looking in the future as building like an online platform, and Kajabi does that. So they have CRMs, they have automated leads and all that. The website is included, email marketing, everything is included. So it's called Kajabi. I put it in the chat. I have a meeting at 3:30, so I need to
Hey,
leave.
no worries. Bye.
I'm
Yes,
so
and
sad.
today
I
was
was
only a
learning
half
so
an
much
hour
already.
class, which anyways, it works. It works.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
be
better
here
than
for a little bit
nothing.
more than half an hour. But
Yeah.
yes, today was an earlier class, more discussion based. But where I wanted to end off was on tools. So here it is. We know we need the skill sets to develop our sales skills, selling ability. So looking at capacity in that way. The second one is really around the tool set, right? And I think when we develop the skill set, that's tying into the mindset. Like, people, sometimes we show up in desperation to sell, and our customers feel that I need to pay my bills yesterday, so you need to buy now. No, that does not work, right? That is not the right energy to be bringing into sales. And the last section that I wanted to talk to us today about, or just have a conversation around, is tools. As I said, free works for a particular period of time, okay to start, not okay for growth, right? And so, anyone else, what tools are you using, Bernadette, to help with marketing and sales?
I don't do a whole lot in my marketing.
Okay.
Um,
So free works for now. That's okay. So
Yeah.
spreadsheets, you're tracking folks on spreadsheets. That's
Yes.
totally fine.
Yeah.
A
For
good
myself personally, yeah.
yes. Listen, I once asked someone how they're tracking their stuff. They say pen and paper, post-it notes. So I said, where are these post-it notes? Right. Like, no,
Yeah.
no.
Not post-it
So
notes, but definitely spreadsheet.
yeah, spreadsheets are good. I'm not as you all know from a little couple sessions ago, spreadsheets are not my super friend, but I do use them, right? And I'm getting better thanks to the people around me as well. Anyone else sharing any tools they use for marketing and sales?
I use Square.
Okay, Square.
I
And
love it.
okay, it
It's
has the email sequence options and things like that.
yes,
Okay,
yes. It's
awesome.
so like user friendly. But when I was co-owner of a restaurant a couple years back, we used Lightspeed, and that was so complicated. So I mean, it's not my go-to, but I don't know about anybody else. But Square is so simple to use.
Yes, I think Lightspeed did they rebrand to now be what is the one? I think they have a new name or it might still be Lightspeed. I'm familiar with them a little bit.
Yeah, I
Um,
think they did change the names, but I can't remember.
or
Yeah.
Ryan, if you're here. Oh, I think he left. But yeah, I think Ryan uses them for detailing nights. It
Okay.
is a pretty robust system.
Yes.
At my company, we use Zoho One. I tell people not to buy Zoho individually because, like Zoho does what HubSpot does. They sell everything individual, but there is a secret. They used to sell Zoho One, which is like $50 a month, and you get it all. So, I used to watch Pokemon as a kid with my brother, and I always remember one ball to catch them all. And I think as we're growing and scaling our business, we definitely want to have that integrated workflow so that we're not hopping from one tool to the next in that way, right? And I know Square has evolved over time to be able to do a lot of the inbound marketing sequences and upselling and different things, and definitely strength you have the capabilities with your website to facilitate the outbound elements in that way. So that's a good one. And I see Share put in Shopify, similar to the Square app. I know really good platforms. One of the things that I would say, sometimes there's limitations because of pricing. So it's now, okay, could I find, if I'm keeping everything internally, what does my sales need to be so that I can facilitate the use of the entire system versus breaking up your database, right? So I think those are really good. Any other tools that folks are using to help facilitate their sales and marketing? Okay, so what I would share. So today, to wrap up our time together, really sales is the engine. If we are not converting, yesterday we look at marketing. We talked about marketing is that attention we get to our brand and driving it. And along that journey, a sales should be happening to fuel everything else that we're doing, right? So if we're not tracking our sales, we definitely want to be able to do so utilizing either spreadsheets or tools to help. Hey, how many people saw us? How many people came to our website? What was that conversion like? And if we're not seeing the conversion that we want, we should be asking different questions. We should be doing different things. You know what they say? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting the same results, right? So we're not insane people, although they say entrepreneurs have a, crazy streak, but that aside, we want to be doing things more efficiently. So definitely investing in the right mindset and energy, showing up to have sales conversations. When we do have those sales conversations, if our business is face to face in that way, one, ensuring that we have the right skills, right? The skills, the ability to sell. How are we handling objections? How are we, being able to, I don't know if you've ever had those conversations where you start talking to somebody and they go all the way back to when they were a child, and you now have to bring them back to this is what we started talking about, So that ability is very important. And the last one is around the tool set. With the right tool set, we can do really well, right? And it's not about one and done. It has to be continuous engagement. So finding the right tools to be able to support that is really important. Amanda, I see your hand is raised.
Speaking about tools, will you at all be touching in the next couple of days about virtual assistants and how to navigate that?
Oh, so like an AI, we have I think one of our sessions we are going to be talking about AI tools in general. But yeah, I can definitely dedicate some time to talk about either if you're wanting to get a virtual assistant overseas, if you're thinking cost-wise, or if you're looking for virtual assistant here, but then also if you're considering employing a bot to work on your behalf. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Folks, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. If you do have any questions, comments, concerns, let's connect again tomorrow. We will be here. Really excited about our time thus far. We've covered a lot of key topics, right? And again, we're just scratching the surface. Hopefully, giving you something to think about as it relates to your business in some way. In terms of actually tomorrow we could touch on assistance. We're talking a little bit about advertising. And there is paid as well as free advertising, and we're going to be spending some time to help you all get seen. Again, that would help people find us, and we can talk a little bit about virtual services there as well. Thank you. You're very appreciated, and we shall see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank
Yes.
you. Have a good
Bye.
evening. Okay.